welcome back to my channel. The other day, one of my friends was asking me, how can I live even a healthier lifestyle? How can I eat better? What are the choices that I can make right now? If you're currently eating somewhat healthy, you're not having junk food, what can you do on a daily basis to make everything a little bit, maybe 10 or 20% better and healthier? I have the answer for you. I wanted to make this video especially for that reason, to give you guys a lot of tips on different food groups, for example, grains, salads, or fish and meat and eggs and everything else that you eat on a daily basis to make it a little bit better. Coming right up.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go! By the way, if you guys are new here, my name is Seppi and my channel is all about healthy, sustainable weight loss. So if that's something you're into, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. It really does help out my channel, and hit the bell button so you never miss a video from me. Let's get started with this video. The first group I wanted to talk about are grains. That's in your rice, your pasta, your bread. We consume that on a daily basis. Hopefully not so much, but we consume it a lot. But if you know the rule of thumb of how to pick these grains, it applies to all of these different food grains. I don't know if you guys have seen this video. I go through everything you need to know about carbohydrates and grains, but in this video I wanted to give you a short summary. Most people like to go with whole grains because they're not as processed, they're not bleached, so they're able to keep most of their nutrition inside of them. There's another reason people like brown rice and whole grains a little bit more, because it is proven that it slightly raises your blood sugar a little less compared to white rice. So if you don't want your blood sugar to kind of spike up, you want to go with whole grains. It takes longer for your body to process it, so your body has more time to absorb the nutrients from these grains. Now let's say you already are health conscious and you already are consuming whole grain brown rice. What can you do to make this a little bit better? You want to go with sprouted whole grains. Sprouting is the process of germination of seeds. They soak the seeds, and as soon as you get a little bit of an offshoot from the seed, that means the grain has been sprouted, it's turning into a plant, and that's when you want to consume it. Now, why sprouting is so much better? Because it makes the nutrition profile of the grains or beans or whatever that has been sprouted a lot better. There was a study done in 2012 on the germination of mung beans. The germination of mung bean sprouts specifically increased photochemical content, vitamin C content, and antioxidant activities. By the way, mung beans are so delicious and they go perfectly well with a vegan salad. Especially if you're a vegan, you want to make sure you consume sprouted grains because it has a much higher and much better amino acid profile, so you can get much more bang for your buck and get all of these amino acid profiles that are missing from your diet because you're not consuming dairy or animal product from these beans that are sprouted. Now, if you're still not convinced, I wanted to talk about a research done in 2017 that talks about the germination process and the effect of that on wheat, brown rice, and triticles. They found out that the essential amino acids like glycine, methionine, leucine, isoleucine, and a few others significantly increase during germination. I'm telling you guys, this can be a lifesaver if you're a vegan or you're not having enough proteins in a day. You have to get at least 100 grams of protein as a girl or 130 grams as a guy. So if you're not getting enough protein, make sure you consider sprouted beans and add them to your salad. If you have a vegan friend, make sure you send them this video with the timestamp and let them know so they know how to pick their beans and grains. Next, I wanted to talk about red meat, and I know there's a huge dilemma. Not a lot of people know exactly what type of red meat they should be using. I already made a long video here if you guys wanted to check it out. I go over every single detail you need to know about red meat. It's a really good video. You will love it. Make sure you check it out later. But I wanted to give you a quick summary. So with red meat, you want to go with grass-fed, grass-finished, and all the reasoning behind that I've already talked about on that video. And since red meat has a lot of saturated fat attached to it, you want to make sure you get the leanest cut, and you have to make sure that your diet includes a lot of monosaturated fats such as olive oil and avocado. Unfortunately, there's a huge problem with the American diet and supermarkets. They offer you skinless, boneless chicken or meat, and we're not able to really get the whole animal. Back in the days that we didn't have all of these heart strokes and heart problems, we actually consumed a whole animal, all parts of an animal. We had stews that maybe cooked the heart and everything all together, and we consumed every single part of an animal. Nowadays, we don't do that, and I think that's the problem. I actually found out about this issue from the book Deep Nutrition, which I already talked about in my previous video. If you guys want to go check it out, I talk about sugar in that video. In this book, Catherine Shanahan actually talks about how important it is to actually consume a whole animal as opposed to just getting a skinless chicken breast or a skinless skinless, I don't know, thigh or something like that. So make sure you keep that in mind to stay healthy. Next, I wanted to talk about chicken, which is the most consumed protein type in the North America. And I wanted to talk about that because chicken is very important. It has to be healthy, it has to be certified, number one. You have to make sure that chicken is raised with no antibiotics, no extra hormones, and they're free range and pasture raised. If the chickens are not labeled as that, they're 100% are kept in these small cages and they're growing in a very filthy condition. Now you have to care about the welfare of the animal because you're consuming, your children are consuming the meat of that animal. You're taking their energy in, everything that affected their environment, their body, their meat, you're consuming and you're eating, and it's affecting your body, it's poisoning your body. So if you care about your health and your children's health, make sure you consider getting free range pasture raised chicken, so you make sure that you're eating the healthier, you know, kind of a meat, and at the same time you're supporting the industries that are actually caring about the welfare of the animals and grow those kind of chickens. I really suggest to people that cannot afford this type of meat to eat less, have more of other sources of protein, maybe fish, maybe beans and things like that, maybe better sprouted grains that we talked about earlier in the video. And then but when you want to actually get chicken or meat or make, you know, some kind of a proper protein, animal protein for yourself or your children, make sure you get the grass-fed, organic, pasture raised, and the best of the best that is available. Now a lot of people ask me about vegetables and if they should be buying organic vegetables. My answer is always yes, absolutely, especially if they're in contact with the ground. One more thing that you want to know is about vegetables is that there are vegetables that are nightshade vegetables. There's some vegetables that are not good if you have thyroid issues. I talk about that in this video. If you guys are interested, you can watch that. I go through all the details, and there's a free PDF that you can download from the description below that gives you all of that in a PDF file. Next, I wanted to talk about fish because I don't know where you're watching from. It's really important that you guys check your government's, you know, website to find out what kind of fish is best in your area. For example, when I go on a Canadian website, it says that salmon and cod are the best with the least amount of mercury in them. If you come from a country that has polluted oceans and water, you have to go with farmed fish, which is more protected, or maybe just avoid fish as much as you can. Go with omega-3 supplements and things like that. But if you come from somewhere like Canada that has access to fish from fresh water, maybe go with wild cod because they have better omega-3 content. Especially if you don't eat a lot of fish, you want to go with wild salmon, wild cod, and things like that. Cod and salmon are the best kind of fish that you can get in Canada, and I really do recommend it too. I personally really like Whole Foods Market because their meat and their animal products are all certified. They have wild cod, and even their farmed fish is very safe because they talk about it on that website. I really feel safe buying from them. So instead of going through every single butcher shop and Googling everything and do a lot of research, I did my research on Whole Foods. I trust them, so I try to buy my animal products from Whole Foods only. I understand a lot of people don't like fish. I make it really simple with the farmed salmon or wild salmon. I just add salt and pepper, that's it. Maybe sometimes a little bit of garlic, and then I put it in the oven or the air fryer for 20 minutes and it's done. For cod, I normally just marinate it for half an hour with garlic, cilantro and parsley, salt and pepper, a little bit of lemon, put it in the oven or in the pan and just sear it, and that's it. Next, I wanted to talk about protein powder, and it's not something I consume on a regular basis. I already talked about that in this video, so if you guys are interested, make sure you check that one out. But I wanted to tell you guys in this video a summary of how I pick the best protein powder ever. A good protein powder has protein as its main ingredients. Literally 90% of its ingredient has to be the protein powder, and the rest has to be some kind of a natural sweetener such as stevia or monk fruit. Anything else, if it says all natural flavor, it includes a lot of huge groups of flavors that I don't like. I don't know what's in it, so I stick to ones that specify what it is, and I really like stevia and monk fruit extract. That is basically honestly it. You shouldn't see a lot of ingredients in a good healthy protein powder. If you want to stay super healthy, you want to go with something like that. One of the healthiest vegan proteins that we could find in the market was sprouted iron vegan, which is healthy. Of course, it's sprouted, so it's more nutritious. It has a better amino acid profile, but it has a couple of ingredients I didn't like. It has xanthan gum, which is an emulsifier which binds things together, binds like water and solid things, water and oil and things like that together. It might actually disturb your digestive system. It also has organic flavors, which I don't know what that means. As I mentioned, it includes a lot of different types of flavors. I would like more transparency on that, so I'm not sure what that means, but in general this was the healthiest we could find. And I already mentioned the regular protein powder. I really hope this helps. Next, I wanted to talk about snacks. We all like to snack, we like to give snacks to our kids, so I wanted to know what is the best and healthiest snack that we could give our kids. Unfortunately, most of the snacks that you could readily buy from stores is not the healthiest choice, and I personally would never buy them. Why? Because they actually include a lot of sugar syrups, fructose, and canola oil, and these are death naters, so you want to stay away from these. I will give you some tips on healthy snacks that you guys can make at home. The first thing, you can cook spinach and mix it with yogurt and add a little bit of salt and pepper. That would be a really healthy dip. You could have that with sprouted whole grain bread. The second healthy snacks that I really like are roasted nuts. Any kind of nuts is fine. You know, peanuts are the least nutritious and walnuts are the most nutritious. I love almonds, so any of these are perfectly fine, but just make sure they're not roasted with canola oils or sunflower oils. And obviously fruits, honey, and veggies are the best snacks ever as well to take with you anywhere you want. And that's about it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did get any kind of value, even if you got 1 point from this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Comment down below and let me know what that 1 point was. What do you want to see next? I'm running out of ideas for these videos, but I have so much to share still, but I just want to know what you guys want to watch. So let me know. Thank you again for subscribing every single day. Makes me really, really happy. My channel is growing every single day, and I'm so grateful to every single one of you. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.